Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Omicron. I got a new video here for you. Previously, I showed my audio setup, which had a Yamaha MG10 XU mixer and a Rode NT1 mic. This was highly recommended by a bunch of YouTubers and such. Great for voiceovers, etc., etc., etc. The only problem is that's not a good setup if you're in an open room or a room that has other audio that can interfere with your broadcast or whatever media it is you're trying to record. So if you're in a soundproof studio or whatnot with audio foam all over the place, then that's a great setup. But I had to change things up for the new year. So let's show you what I'm working with now. She might have threw more than one. Here, I'm going to send a drone in for you guys.
Yeah, I'm bringing mine upstairs.
One's really low.
Okay, there's a shield there, small bar. Hey, nobody's in this for. Okay, Valk's sitting right here.
Yo, as soon as you go in that drop. Yep.
Hello, cigar.
I think,
There's two in cigar. There's two in cigar. One just dropped hatch, though.
So previously you heard in the audio track, which you can see on the left-hand side from the split kind of going off-center. We got some text on the screen here in the upper left-hand corner. This is the old audio setup. In the upper right-hand corner, this is the new audio setup. Notice the difference in the L2 track. So now it's only picking up my voice when I speak, as opposed to before, everything in the room was getting picked up. And the reason why you didn't hear this when I stream is because I have a noise gate set up in OBS. However, all of my footage for YouTube, I had to go and manually edit the secondary audio track to remove all of this fuzz. Now here's a clip of the new footage, which you see on the right. Yeah, see, when they blow the mirror window, just jump on these boxes.
Hello, I'm Wayne's audio processor. Basically, the red lines mean that the noise gate is completely activated. You'll see the red up and down. So when I stop, there's a red dot on the left side. When I talk, there's a green dot. Each of the knobs explained basically is the trigger, which is on the far left, is the expander gate. Threshold is basically the decibels at which noise gate is supposed to open. The ratio is set to 4:1. I don't really know much about this other than that's what everyone else recommended. The attack is set to super low. There's no reason for me to compress my voice anymore. But if I wanted to compress my voice more, basically I would raise that, to a higher decibel rating. And then the release I have as high as possible, basically just to let go. You can lower the release, basically to hold on to the noise gate a little bit more. And the last thing is the output, which basically you can raise slightly, basically to gain your mic at the compressor level going back into your mixer. And that's the whole purpose of this box. There's also the peak limiter, which is set to + 9 decibels. And if you turn it all the way to the right, it basically turns it off. And this mixer also, or not this mixer, but this Behringer MDX 2600 Pro XL has two mic inputs. So there's 4-channel versions of this device because of the use that I am using it for. I guess studio grade single mic compressor boxes. This is just a 2-channel compressor box. Anything else would basically be 4-channel. Like they would use for a podcast. I don't know too much about that. I'm not an audio engineer. I just know what this thing is capable of. This is where the microphone is going in. So this particular channel here is what I'm going to call the premix. The lighting is really bad right here, so I do apologize, but it is what it is. So I have the compressor set to 0, the EQ high I have at normal, the mids I have bumped up, and I have the lows bumped up. I speak very quietly for the most part. When I'm loud, I'm loud. This is for aux, this is for any kind of effects, or in this particular case, the way that I have it set up is the aux output. This is where the microphone is going out into the compressor, and basically it goes from the compressor and it's mixed over there, and then it comes back into the mixer on the second line. Forget what other mixer there is that's really popular. It will normally have an interrupt channel or something like that. There'll be like a second, because this is XLR and this is just a cable mic input, depending on what kind of mic you have. There's normally like a little interrupt thing where you can plug that in, and basically you can keep all this on one line. But because of the way this mixer is set up, it does not have channel inputs. It only has microphone in or audio in for the channels. Therefore, I have to use 2 channels to perform this with this mixer. Previously, I had a Yamaha MG10 XU, and the only problem with that is that I can't like mute specific channels and then have this work here. So I have to have like the audio channel on the Yamaha basically outputting, and I can't mute it. And what would happen basically is with the Yamaha mixer is it down mixes every channel through the USB. There's no separating it. So microphone goes in here, it goes out to the compressor here, comes back from the compressor into this line. So any kind of mixing or boosting I do with the compressor, noise gate, etc., is done on the compressor. It's brought back in here, and then if I need to bump anything, like I have right here, I have the highs and mids. Well, I have the high normal, I have the mids bumped up and the lows bumped up. So I have both of the low channels bumped up on this. I also use a Rode NT1 microphone, which with my previous mixer, there's no way for me to filter the audio. So I had basically, this is what's called an imp pad, but basically this thing right here is a negative 10 decibel impedance pad, and I would put this inside of the mic channel here to basically fix any of the peaking that the mic had before. Now that I have a hardware compressor, this thing is not needed. So I'm glad that that's out of the setup. Now this may be completely blurred at this point, but I do apologize. So basically this channel right here is muted because I do not want this in the mix, but it is outputting, and we have an aux pre button which is pushed down here, and I can raise this if I want to send more mic signal to the compressor, or I can just leave it as is. I was getting audio feedback with this out of any other configuration besides this. I also have the gain just set straight up on this. There's not a lot of gain on the primary output channel, so the microphone is not it's not peaking, it's not doing high at all. It comes back in here again. The gain is also very low here because I don't want audio interference, so the gain is set over here somewhere. And then again, I have the aux turned down over here. I don't have the pre or the FX. So if it's not pressed in, then it's an FX channel, which I can utilize all this stuff over here to do voice changing. I'm not too familiar with the mixer, so I can't really tell you how I would get around to doing that, so I don't really mess with it all that much. But if I wanted to in the future add in one of those like voice changing things that everyone uses, that was also something I was looking into instead of buying this mixer. I can add that in, and then I could plug it in over here, the voice changer, and do all that stuff, and then it would just make the setup more complicated. So it would bounce from my microphone, the voice effects translator thing, and then it would go into the compressor, and then it would come out of the compressor back in here. I know that's all really confusing because it's easier to figure out when all the equipment's here and you can plug stuff in and test it out, but I mean that's basically my best explanation for it. Right here I have all of the other audio channels muted and down out of the mix. There's these Alts 3-4 mix things which you can mess with around here. The only button that I have pressed in is this 2TR USB. That is the mix that I'm hearing in my headphones. So that is all I want to hear, the USB channel out to the computer. That's pretty much that. The only thing that's on the back of this mixer that I'm not going to flip this thing around for you to see is the USB cable going into the computer, the power cable, the phantom power switch for the microphone, and the power switch for the mixer itself. And that's pretty much it. I don't think this video needs to be any more complicated than that. Basically, there's a lot of videos on how to set up a compressor for podcasting. I just kind of played with it based off of my environment, and that's pretty much it. You know, I have a noisy TV that sits right next to me. I basically try to filter that out. It does catch it a little bit when I talk, but as long as I'm not talking and the noise gate is active, then you don't really hear any of that stuff. In the event that I do need to turn my audio up from my mic, this is the only thing that I need to manipulate here. This changes how loud my microphone is for the mix. So if someone says my mic's low, I can push it up, If someone says my mic's too high, I can drag it down just a millimeter. But right here seems to be the sweet point right here. Either or, the higher that this is, it's already pre-compressed. So this only affects my mic volume. It does not affect how much volume is going into the microphone. At that particular point, I would mess with something up here. I would mess with the gain settings right here to boost the microphone into the compressor to get more mic feedback. But then that also picks up more room noise, picks up my TV, picks up breathing, picks up you licking your lips, doing stuff like that. And that's basically what I don't want. So the only thing that you need to do to manipulate the microphone at this point is to mess with this guy right here. And that's pretty much a new audio setup. So thank you for watching.
I hope you guys enjoyed the new setup video for my audio. If you have any questions, please drop them below in the comments. And I didn't do a voiceover to explain the mixer because I wanted you to hear all the ambient noise that is in the environment that I basically record in. You have the fan noise from my computer. You have my dog drinking water in the background. You have the fan above my head that you can see the reflection off of the mixer. And again, the whole purpose of me buying this audio compressor was so I can yell into the microphone like that, and basically it doesn't peak, it doesn't fuck your ears up or anything. The compressor basically just attacks that and brings it down to the same level. And then when I'm quiet, it also brings that up to the same level. So that is the whole reason why you want an audio compressor separate from your mixer. Now you can use the compressor knobs that are built into those mixers, but if you want to bump your audio quality up, the noise gate also is a huge plus. The de-esser is probably something that you would want to use, and I did not speak about, if you have a lisp. If you carry your S's like s, then the de-esser will basically kind of cut those off. So that's it. Thank you for watching the video. Hit the goddamn like button. Share this video with other people if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down and basically point out where I'm wrong and you're better at life. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.